All right, art students, welcome back to part 8. Let me drop my glasses down so I can see better. So we're still going to continue with the female torso. I'm going to kind of get into the whole body almost, or the upper and lower half of the body. We won't worry about the arms and legs yet. And I remember to draw a pose. So in about 20 minutes into it, we will stop and draw a pose. Now, one thing that I was looking at is that the breast doesn't always, if you have regular size, they might not touch one another. You know, you might have space in between the two. And another thing, if the torso is going like this way, just like when you set the balloon on the table, it'll be like this against, because this is a curve, it'll be like this against that bone. Then it'll come out and then it'll go up like that. And then the other one could have a split. You could have that space, more of a space in the middle, because it is a rounded area. So if you put two balloons on a surface that's round, you'll get one that's going to go this way and the other one's going to go that way kind of naturally. You know, they won't be stuck in the middle unless you have something holding them there. So the natural shape of the breast, or the way the skin is going to pull them apart because it is round. Like I say, if you have small breasts, they won't touch, but if you have the big ones, they'll hang down more and then they will probably push more together. So you can have one this way, you can have one that way, and of course it's going to go up into the shoulder. This is going to go up here, and it's going to go there, and it's going to be your arm, and you're going to have just a little piece of that bone because you're going to have that tunnel right there. And then if you're not drawing somebody, you know, with a belly or pregnant, you know, you're going to bring it in a little bit. You're going to have this. You're going to make sure this is not too far out. You're going to kind of keep bringing it in until you get to the size that you want, or the shape that you want, and then you're going to bring it out to that. So remember, we're working with a shape like this, basically, that hourglass shape. So let me take this off and we can work with that one picture, or this one page, like that. So if I ink this, it would be more, I have my shape already. So once I have that, you may see some shoulder on the other side. If you do, you just see a little bit. And then I'm going to have this breast come out here, and then it's going to come up there. My bone, the bone. It's going to come in like that. And as I say, depending on how much, I'm going to bring this over a little bit. Not too much, because you don't want it to cross that center line. Bring this up and then up there, because as I say, as like a balloon is going to continue to have that shape this way. So you're going to have this shape, and then it's going to go over there. But at this point where the muscle connects from that delt, it's going to pull over to there. Because remember, with the men, I like to have just one solid piece, depending on the what was I going to say? Depending on the position that I draw it in. So again, here you're going to say, okay, do I want the lats go way out here? Do I want it to come in a little bit? And then that all determines the size of the female that you draw. So this is going to be kind of flat. This arm's going to be there. So let's just say about right here. And then you go in for the turn, and the other arm could come out here like this. You have the collarbone. You have the head. That's what I say. I'll kind of draw that head quicker in the drawing. That way I will know how big to draw the head, or how big to draw the body, because the head is kind of a giveaway for drawing a female. So let's draw kind of the whole torso, because once you get it, it's easy to do. And let's use this other side of the paper. Now, when I draw a female, of course, depending on the pose, what I will do is I will use the letter K, just the letter K like that. Except I won't connect it like that. Okay, so this is going to be my front. This is going to be my back. Sometimes you can switch it around, but I usually have the curve. Let's do this. Why am I using blue? I don't know. So we have my torso, and we have my, you have the lower half, the hips, okay? So if you look at that, you curve that, that's kind of like a K right there. So instead of doing this, I'll do this, and it's just me like that. And then I can do my shoulders, and then I can, wherever my center line is, I'll have that house, upside down house like that. So that's pretty much the female body. So I'll take this line up, and then I'll say, this is my head. This is where I want my head to be, my neck. So you know that there's a V right here for that. So that shoulder is going to come around. So I'll chop this off because I don't want that shoulder to go way out there. So I'll chop this off, and then my delt will go here, or I can bring it in a little bit. So now that I have my my neck established, right under that chin, I'll have that point, and then I'll do my heart. Remember, just think of the water balloon is going to be pressing against this bone here, those bones, that rib cage, and then I'll have my other right here. And of course, again, like I say, it's going to be that heart. Depending on how much to turn, depending on how big the breast is, one may come in front of the other, and then it's going to come up. And that kind of right here determines where that delt is going to be at, because you don't want it to go way over here somewhere. So here, and then my shoulders here, and then that arm is going to come here. And as I say, that shoulder's here, and I can have that other piece of the arm right here. So already you have the work done. You have this little part here, which is the rib, the sides. So that's about the right size. And when you turn, so wherever that is, I can bring this in here and then bring it out there. So your belly button is going to go, or the belly button is going to go right a little bit below the center point here, the center point. What am I saying? The narrowest point right there. So it's going to go right there. So with this, at this point, I can say, okay, I'm going to bring this up a little bit more if it gets too long. And I can bring it out a little bit more if I want to. And then I can add my legs however I want to put my legs. So by just drawing this K and tilting it a little bit, then you have the female body. So remember, this is going to come and it's going to slope down. This kind of goes up, it does go up. It doesn't go straight across. It goes up, center line here, and it falls into that. And then this arm here, that arm there. So I have this, my tunnel, just not showing all of it, and then just a little bit, and then showing a little of the indentation, and then you can bring it down, not all the way down. And of course, now if you're going to put clothes on the character, a lot of this is a moot point. But most times with superheroes, they have skin tight clothes on anyway. So yeah. So it'll be the same way the other side, and that all depends on how much you want to turn the character. So if I turn the character a lot more, and that center line is here, it's the same thing. You have this. How you're going to have the shoulders? The shoulder's going to be tilted this way. It's going to be tilted that way. It's going to be straight on like this. And then, of course, you're always going to have the point, the upside down house right there. And then again, here is my head. How big is my head? My neck comes down. I'm going to have that triangle again, that V. Pen is not writing, but you know, we're gonna have that V, and then that determines how thick my neck is. So we have that. Remember, that point is always going to hit that center line. So this is going to go all the way to the top of this, and this is going to go to the top of that, which is going to be shorter. And then again, I'll position my head however I want to position it, or however I figure it's going to go, unless I'm doing a specific pose. Going to be like that. The neck is going to be narrow, and it's going to slope out. So again, here is the heart. Now you don't have to have it go all the way across, because it depends on how much you turn. So this person has turned so much. So if I went and I did this, the regular, I don't know why I'm unable to use my words today. The beetle, if I do the beetle, the cross the bottom of the chest here, then I'll have it. So if you drew the K and then you did this and you did the beetle, and you do this where that is. So half the work is done for you because you know that V is right here. The neck is going to come up. Here's the head. The breast is going to fit on here, but I will usually drop the breast down below that line a little bit more. I don't know why I'm using my blue, but that's okay. Make that heart and then come up here. And this is where my shoulders are going to go. So it's going to be the same thing on this side. If you have to do the beetle, then just do so. Just put it here at the bottom. The bottom circle stops here. Top circle stops there. And then you can do another one here, oval there. So there. So here's the breast again. Under the chin, it's going to come around. Maybe, like I said, not all the way around because it's touching. It's turned a lot. So this one's going to come out more. And this is going to go up here, and here's going to be my arm. So you're going to see a lot of that because it's turned so much. Not a lot, but you're going to see more of the little rib cage here. And then I like to bring my stomach in for the female and back out. So here, that point is going to go out. Belly button is going to be a little under that line, and then there is that. So I will shape this up because remember that rib cage is like this. Pen doesn't want to write. The rib cage is like this. So this is where I bring it in and then back out. So bring that stomach in and back out, and just some indentations to show that this character is muscular. So I'm going to do this. That's too high right there. That line is too high, so just forget that. Forget I just did that. That, and just a little bit of shoulder right there. And you can slim it down or you can make her thick, depends on, you know. But whatever you want to do, you want to keep it smooth. You want to keep those lines smooth. So, 12 minutes, and it's not going to take long to do a action pose, but it might because I want to take my time. So in the back, and I'm gonna focus more on the back later because I want to actually get some reference for that. When you put your arms up, this is going to be short. Okay, here's a head. Women are different from men, but the delt, you're going to see more of that delt when it goes up. When it goes up from the front, did I even do that one from the front? Let's do this from the front. Did I show you that? I'm losing it. I did not. If you're doing a female from the front with the arms up, same thing. Okay, you're going to do this V. This is going to represent the angle of your arms, okay? This V. Just keep going straight up. Let me put my head real quick here real quick because these shoulders are going to press in more the closer. Now at that point, just put a little bit of a lump over that line, okay? And then come down. So for the male, I might draw the delt first, but for the female, I'll just do my line, put over top first, and then bring it down. And that will bring the breasts closer together. And then so let's put my arm here, the arm here. And it's gonna come like a round almost. And then you're going to have your rib cage. It's gonna come in a little bit, and you're gonna have your rib cage. And because the arm is up, the breasts are gonna kind of go together a little bit more. And so you should see a little bit of the side, the tunnel, and then you go out. But you don't want to have like a one whole piece of line. So I would do something like this is going to be that. And then just a little, indentation that it's there. And then that's a man's arm. You have your underarm right there, which nobody actually draws. So just indentation that this is where my delt is. The underarm is under there. You have a little bit there, and then it comes down. And again, it depends on type of woman, how much breast that you're trying to draw. And then come in and out. And this is what I'll just use, like these two lines to show where the rib cage is, and then the center lines, and maybe a little bit on the side to show that she has been going to the gym a lot. And I say these are scrunched up here. Here is my head. The neck is going to go in just a little bit. And then that's what I would do if I'm drawing the female. Now, when you go from the back, you're going to see all of this. You're going to see, oh, this is going to come down, and you're going to see all of that there. And if I'm not mistaken, the arms come up under there. But I don't want to do, because I'll be doing a man. Because women, when you see that, you just see their collarbone. You won't really see any muscle, and already because I did that, this is a man's shoulder. But that's the woman minus that big muscular back. And you don't want to put a lot of muscles on women, but I know that when you, from the back, you're going to see all of this delt. But I'm not sure if the arm goes from out of it or in, but as I say, I want to do more of a visual approach so that I don't steer you guys wrong, because I only do backs when I call for doing backs, and then if I need, I'll have to do some reference. Even if I take a picture of myself, you know, at least I know the actual shape and what goes where. So 16 minutes. All right, so let's just do an action position, and then we'll continue with the females a little later, and then on the next one, and then get back into the men. So we're going to be jumping around, just doing things, and get into the faces more and expressions and so forth. So I'm going to do a simple action pose position and do it slow and have you guys follow along. So to sharpen my pencil so that you guys will be able to put this stuff together. So as I said, this is going to be just a simple one. Simple, I don't know, kind of quick, I guess. So first off, I do my torso. This is where you get your pencils and your paper, because you can go slow with me, or you can draw along with me. Do my torso. So by doing my torso, I'm going to know, even if I have the feet straight down, I'll have enough room. And this is why you don't start with the head, and then by the time you get to the knees, you don't have room for anything else. So this is my torso. So I'm going to go straight. I'm going to do the beetle. But, okay, you will know if it goes straight across, but I'm going to bring this down because he's going to be leaning forward. So to lean forward, I'm going to make more of a V. The more he leans, the more of a V he has. Then I'm going to do the chest, and then I'm going to do this, the tunnel. Now, because he's leaning forward, where's that ball at? I see anytime I look for something, I can never find it. I don't know, it's somewhere. It's probably on the floor. Anyway, because this is round and it's leaning forward, this is not going to be straight. This is going to be around as well. So that chest is going to end up being around. And this is fine because this is just fine. All right, so because he's leaning, I'm going to bring his head down close to his collarbone. Just above that collarbone. Now, if I go down any further, he's going to be leaning down more. That's all. That's just all that means. So we have that. Now, remember the delt goes right off of this. Because he's leaning, you're going to see some of the back of the delt, because the delt, we use a ball, but when you lean it, and I wish I had the thing. I don't know where it's at. Let me take a quick look around my room and see if I can find my tennis ball, which I cannot find it, but that's all right. We'll just keep going. So this is going to be in the center or at the top if he's looking straight on at you. So because he's leaning down, you're going to see more of that. That's going to be in the center. It's not going to be at the top. So we're going to do the same thing here. So the arm is going to connect with the chest is going to connect with that. This is why I say I like to, in certain positions, I like to make this one piece. So we're going to come and we're going to go in. I'm going to curve this chest. And then we're going to give some shoulders right here. And then I'm going to bring his neck. You're not going to see too much of his neck, so I'm just going to bring it down like this. And then give him his traps. Because the traps are going to be like this. And then the delts. So I'm going to erase this and that, because your delts actually make an indentation right here. So I'm just going to kind of show that indentation by doing this little A or this little triangle and get some shading right there. Okay, so this leftover I'm going to erase. Now when you, certain positions you won't see your lats. So you're not really going to see the lats. So I'm going to bring this circle on around under here, not way out here, just under here. And I'm going to do, I just like to do this little, almost like an M, almost like the letter M on a lot of my tunnels. And then just bring it out and then bring it in, kind of bring it out to the point and then start bringing it in. All right. So we have this, we have my little tunnel. So I want to go down. So not right here, you're going to have your stomach or just the lines for your stomach. So right outside of the stomach somewhere, not too far. And this is crooked, so bear with me on this because I want to straighten this out, because this waist is going to be off. So I'm just going to do this. So we got this. So we got his waist here, which is the love handles, which basically you can just kind of like if you're drawing a belt like that. And then when he leans over, the hips are not going to go right here. They're going to go further back, just a little bit further back, and that kind of shows that you're leaning forward. So this is the easy part. So we're going to draw the upside down house, center line. Remember, this is going to go back a little bit. So you can round this off, you know, to leave the room for the junk. I just kind of like do the little cup here just to know where his junk is and where the legs are going to start. So with this one, we're going to put his arms, he's going to have his arms close to his body. So we're just going to do an oval. Let me slow down because I know somebody's like, you're going too fast. Do another oval. And you want to bring that oval down probably about right here, close to that, not too far. Because that already represents the bicep, which is just round, and it's right here, and the rest is the tricep. And then we're going to wait for you for a second. So we're going to do the cylinder. The cylinder is going to be inside that arm, so I'm going to use blue. So you're going to do this. We're just going to do this cylinder or a cone going up this way. And as I say, drawing, when you draw, it's basically just like writing, because if you look at this, that could be the letter A. That's why I say anybody can draw, but it's just the fact that people give up on themselves, or they look at stuff, they look at the detail in everything. Like, I don't know, I have something like this with all the detail instead of looking at the shape. What shape does it look like? What letter or what shape am I always trying to draw? You know, simple. They look at all the detail, you know, lines and stuff, and that stuff comes last. So we have these two cones, or letter A, and then we'll just chop it off right where we want the hands to go. So I'm going to erase this and erase that. So I want to do up like this, up like that, down. So right now I'm just kind of like doing a square. What is that? What is that? That's almost like a letter 7, I guess. Bring it in and then down to meet that wrist. So what I did again, here's my wrist. So I went up, over, down. It's almost like drawing a box, half a box. Instead of going this way, I just brought it down to that wrist. And then there you are. Same thing on the other side. Draw that box. Here's my wrist. Here's my other wrist. Bring it down at an angle. It's easy to do when you have a good teacher. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are just like, okay, I want to show you how to draw whatever. And then they show you how they draw it. They don't show you how you can draw it. And that's one thing that really frustrates me about a lot of stuff on YouTube, that these guys show you how they do it. And it's always like this, I want to show off my skills instead of helping you develop your skills. But enough of that fussing. So anyway, there's a muscle here. So usually I'll do this straight and then I'll have this here because there's a muscle right here. And I'll curve this, right? So I'm going to get rid of this because this is one piece. This is like one punch, one piece. So again, bring this down and I can curve it in, and then this one is going to curve out. And I'm showing you muscles. I shouldn't be showing you muscles. So I'm going to bulk this up and bulk this up here. And then it's going to be the inside of my muscle, and the arms are big so you won't see too much behind that. I'll wait for a second. So let us, what is it, 27? I'll go a couple more minutes. So this is going to should be the easy part. So we're going to do an oval. So it's basically you're drawing another letter A, a fat letter A, right? See that? That's all it is. So I want to do an oval here. So the wider you draw the stance, the bigger your letter A is going to be. An oval here. And with new artists or artists, beginner artists, the hard part is drawing the proportions of something. You know, not making it too long, not making it too short. Some things you can measure, but other things you can't because of the position that they're in. So we have this and we have that. So I'm going to put 2 circles here for your knee, so you know where your knee is. It can go inside of it, but you don't want to have, you don't want to have it too far down, too far out. And I'm going to bring this in. So we're going to do another cone. Another 2 cones. So by bringing this back like this, instead of straight down, taking it back, you can see that he is squatting just a little bit. He is squatting just a little bit. So now there is a muscle in this leg. So if you go back here, I'll give you a chance to do your cone again. To do that, the cone. So there's a muscle that is usually up here. It goes across here. This is one way I can kind of keep up with my legs. If I know this is too far, too long, I just kind of know, then I'll change it. So it goes here and goes down and it curves up. So I'm going to shorten these legs. It curves up and it makes like this teardrop, right? And on the other side, there's another muscle that does the same thing, but it leaves a V, the V right here, because there's another muscle that goes there. So you don't have to erase. This is just me. You can, but this is just me. Trying to get it halfway decent right, but I shouldn't even done the muscles. So I you put your knees like right up in there. So I'll put that circle right up in there. And then again, go back to my cone. Don't make the cone too thin, because that actually goes, it's fat. It's really, when you have one smaller muscle, one bigger muscle. So you have this goes up here because that leg it actually does one of these little numbers here. Don't have to worry about drawing that. We'll get into detail in legs later. So from here, let's do, now if he is standing straight on the ground like this, the foot would be more of a triangle like that. Half a triangle, half a triangle. Here's a triangle. Here's half the triangle. Split that in half. Half the triangle, half a triangle. So if he's standing on a straight ground like that, you are going to have that flat foot and that half a triangle. Now, if the ground is not level, as in you don't have the camera down here, the camera's up and you're seeing the ground, instead of seeing the ground like this, you're going to see your ground more like this. Let's just say that's a table. It's a statue, and it's standing on that, sitting on that table. So if his feet are on that table like this, it's not going to be flat like that. It's going to be more like this. So I'm going to put his foot more like that, make it more round. So I'm going to bring this down, and it's going to come forward like that. So bring this down. This is going to come forward more like that. So now he's not standing, or you're not seeing him on that flat level. You're kind of like above, just a little above him, because you're looking down on him. So now we have this. So I'm going to make his calf like that. Just put a lump right there. Make that go in. So my knee is going to be kind of like a cone, ice cream cone. So sometimes you want to find out where that center of that leg is. You can just draw that line down there, and you're going to have a little bit of the calf on the opposite side of that center line. Like that. You can put, I'll give you a second. It's 32 minutes, so about 35 minutes, I guess we'll be finished it. Put a little bit of a dip in the leg here and here, just to give it a little more detail. A dip, a rise in the leg right there and there, just to give it a little more detail. And then we will do let's do the abs, because I know everybody likes abs. So again, like I said, this is round, this is round, this is round. So start from this point to this point, go a little below that, and then you can go a little below that. So this here is his love handles, and your love handles come all the way down. Well, your love handles stop right here, but there's a line that comes all the way down to the crotch. Change that a little bit. So by doing this, you already have your abs. And I'm kind of rushing real quick. So good. Now, if you like at the center, the same way we did the breast, if under the neck, if you come around like this, and this from here, up in here, and then you make that fang, then you have your serratus muscles, those ribs that come out. So like here and then there, because your lats start right behind those muscles there. So that would almost kind of be the same way we did the breast. So, but the line is going to be more inside, and you're just doing that letter A again. Once again, you're doing that letter A. Drawing is just shapes. Everything you draw on here is just a shape. It's probably the same shapes you do every day when you write. All right, so with the hand, I'm going to do a quick hand. Hopefully you guys have caught up. You stayed up with me. Stay with me. So we have this. So I'm going to put my thumb. It's just a little square right there, and a little square right there. So this is going to be the top, because your hand is basically kind of a square anyway. You're just tilting that little square. So again, right here, it's going to be there. So then I'll put my fingers, 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one there. Just a quick hand, 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one there. And then because the fingers are bent down, this finger is going to be bent down a little bit. maybe not. Well, it will be bent down, and then your palm is tucked under there. So you have your baby finger, this one, you have it bent down. So let me see if I can get that right angle. You're kind of like this, and you see this bit of the palm, because this is the only finger you see that is like bent down just a little bit. And the thumb actually comes across there. I'm just not twisting my thumb all the way because it goes back behind there. And this tucks in because this wrist is tucked in. You're going to see that little bend here. So if I get rid of that and get rid of that. So we have pretty much that, and then you just do your face. And usually what I do, face is center line. I'll find where my eye is. Then I'll do my chin. Okay, this is going to be the bottom of my chin. And I will do a line like this and this at that chin. Okay, so that determines my shape of my face. Bring this in just a little bit, maybe. Here's my chin. It'll be in. And with these guidelines, you can't really go wrong whichever way you turn your face. So this and this is going to be my nose. And this is going to be my mouth, the center of the mouth anyway, or the opening of the mouth, because your lips are going to go above and below that. And then, however long your nose is, if you go straight up, this is the beginning of your eye. So if the person is staring straight at you, I'll put that right on the upper half of the eye. The eye, I usually the football, it'll be right across that line. It'll be like this. And the other one is going to be like this there. And we'll get into faces and expressions later. So 36 minutes. And I think we're done. So let me just do a little something with this face. And I tend to do crooked faces because I keep turning my paper. So they're going to turn out to be crooked. This pen doesn't want to write in certain angles. So of course you have your I forgot what they call that thing. Your temple right there. Is your jawbone is going to be right across the mouth. Turn it in, come down. Jawbone's right there. Is your jaw? Yeah, jawbone. Your chin. Your ear is going to be between the nose and the eye. And then you have your head. So we can't really see too much of the neck, but I'm just going to do it anyway. And then there's your traps right there. You know, that's a terrible head, but you know, you have your cheekbones here and it goes down to the chin like that. And that's how you start getting your detail, your face. But everybody's face is different. So I like to start putting expressions on my faces instead of just drawing everybody just angry. But I only do that in the comics when I draw my comics. So that is going to be it for that. Hopefully you were able to keep up with that, and then you put your knuckles. And I say I'll just draw forever. And then that's there, and then it's there, and then that's there, and then that's there. And then your thumb is there. This. I'll just draw forever. I'm sorry, like I say. Just because when I get into it, I just get into it. So I'm not going to go any further than this. So hopefully you understand that. So I'll try to do one of these at the end of every one of these series, at the end of these series, so that you guys can kind of pick it up. And I guess maybe next time I'll do a girl, since we're doing the females. And that's going to be it because I'll ramble. I'll see you in part 9 or 10. 7, 8, 9, part 9. This is part whatever. All right, later.